Hello and welcome to this live webinar where we will be taking questions and also giving you hopefully the answers to some queries or questions you might have before you sign up for an ICA qualification. My name is Jonathan Bowdler. I'm the Head of Regulatory Compliance here at International Compliance Training, and the purpose of this webinar is first of all to give you a little bit of insight into the qualifications. Although I do appreciate that by signing up for the webinar, you already probably know a little bit about both ICA, the Awarding Association, and ICT, the training arm. But what I will do is give you a little bit of guidance in terms of what might be the right course for you and what might be the right level for you. Unfortunately, what I can't do is really get into one-to-one discussions with you in terms of the exact right course for yourself, because there are quite a few people watching this webinar live. But you will notice at the bottom of the screen there is a Q&A box where you can actually type in any questions that you might have as the session progresses. I have an assistant on hand who will vigilantly answer all of your questions as and when they appear, or indeed if I notice them and I can answer them, I will answer them myself direct to camera. And then at the end of the presentation, we'll also give you the right email address to then send any further queries or questions that you might have, including if you want somebody from ICT to contact you so that you can have a one-to-one discussion with one of the tutors if you still have any outstanding queries. Okay, so let me begin first of all by using the right mouse. That always helps. By basically just giving you a teeny bit of background into the ICA to make sure that you are fully aware of the professionalism of the organisation you are looking to join. We have over 134 countries globally where we have taught over the last 15 years, currently teaching in over 100 as we speak. And we have offices as well as in the United Kingdom, in Singapore, in New York, and in Dubai, and associate offices with partner organizations in many other jurisdictions, such as in the BVI and in Moscow. We're now up to somewhere around 110,000 students who have taken ICA qualifications, and it truly is a global organization, with the qualifications being recognized by the vast majority of regulators around the world. And in the last sort of 5 or 6 years, we've seen an extra development in what we're doing with the large top-tier banks and insurance houses coming to us, where we actually design specific training to deliver in-house to their employees. We've done that for over 120 different companies now, and on an ongoing basis work with the largest banks and insurance firms globally. So when you become a member of ICA, you are joining a global community where the networking opportunities are vast, and also you'll be obtaining a qualification that really will help you with your career progression. I often get asked when I'm delivering at conferences information about ICA, and one of their main questions, which is of course nearly impossible to answer, is will the qualification get me a job? Well, obviously it can't guarantee that it will get you a job, but I can certainly confirm that it will improve your chances no end. Obtaining the qualification, having the qualification, is a significant enhancement to your CV. So you will have this professional, globally recognized qualification on your CV. And secondly, what you learn during the course will enhance your performance at any job interview you attain. So yes, it will help you get your next role or your first role in the area of compliance. Can't guarantee anything, but I have hundreds of ex-delegates, ex-students who currently hold ICA qualifications, and they will tell me, and they will tell you if you speak to any ex-student, which I heartily encourage, that it does make a difference to your career progression. Okay, so I mentioned becoming a member of the ICA, International Compliance Association. When you become a student, you become an affiliate member. And that's basically the membership level for students as they work through their qualifications. Then when you complete your qualification, it depends upon the level of your qualification as to which level of membership you obtain. If you were to complete, for example, one of the advanced certificate qualifications, then you become an associate member of the ICA. If you complete the diploma level qualification, then you become a member of the ICA, and that's the first level where you actually have the acronym MICA, Member of ICA, which you can use after your name. And then finally, the highest level is the professional postgraduate level, and that entitles you to fellowship of the ICA, and you become FICA. Now, I'll talk a little bit in a moment about the different levels, so to give you some idea of which level you think is right for you. But just so you have a sort of rough idea of how they measure up on the educational systems, our certificate entry-level qualifications are probably equivalent to sort of an in-house course, quite in-depth, give you a good foundation of knowledge, and would be just sort of general school certificate level. Once you get to the advanced certificate level, you're beginning to get closer towards first year degree level standard, and the diploma is certainly final year degree level standard qualification. The postgraduate diploma, which leads to fellowship, is master's degree level and actually does enable you to get exemptions from a couple of master's degrees with UK universities, one of which is Alliance Manchester Business School, the Business School of Manchester University, who also act as our quality assurance partner. So should you work your way through our qualifications, there is at the end of it actually a master's degree available to you, with being able to top that up part-time at Manchester Business School. Okay, so now then, what qualifications do we offer? Obviously, the wording on the screen is a little bit small, but this slide is actually taken from our website, so you will be able to look at this in more detail. And I'm just going to talk through it in terms of the different areas that we provide qualifications in and the different levels of qualifications. So you basically end up with a table and a matrix, if you like, of the different areas we offer and the different levels under those areas. So if you were first of all to look at the columns, you will see that we begin with a certificate level, which is an entry-level qualification for those who either haven't yet moved into the area of compliance, AML, or financial crime prevention, but are thinking of doing so, or for those who are relatively new to the role and need a good basis foundation of knowledge, or indeed those who might work in a different area of an organisation such as marketing or finance or even on the executive team who need to improve their understanding of regulatory compliance. The next level up is the advanced certificate, and the advanced certificate is for compliance practitioners, whether that be in regulatory compliance or financial crime compliance. We have ICA qualifications that should suit your area of interest. So there's an ICA Advanced Certificate in Anti-Money Laundering, an ICA Advanced Certificate in Managing Fraud, and then 3 different variations of ICA Advanced Certificate in Compliance. Again, in terms of the differences between these, you do need to look at the syllabus on the ICA website, and that should give you some insight into the actual topics covered on these different courses, but I will talk about the differences more in a moment. The next level up is for the diploma level course, which is really for those who are already experienced in their field and are looking to move into or already are managers in the areas of compliance, anti-money laundering or financial crime prevention. In this level of qualification, we look in more depth, particularly at the relationships required within an organisation between these important functions and the rest of the business, considering things like influencing the strategy of the business, influencing behaviour and culture in the business, as well as designing and managing the systems and controls required for regulatory compliance. And then finally, we have the expert level, which is the professional postgraduate level. And we offer just the two streams here, one in governance, risk and compliance, and one in financial crime compliance. And I'll talk about the differences in a moment, but this level is for leaders. people with 10 years plus experience, and people who already have exposure to senior management in a business at executive or board level and are able to influence an organisation's strategy and culture. We do, if you look at the final column, also have what we call our specialist certificates, which are smaller, more focused qualifications in certain key hot topic areas, and quite often we have delegates using those as sort of top-up areas or continuing professional development. Having said that, they are also standalone qualifications and can be taken at any time. Now, the different areas in terms of the qualifications are mainly split into three key streams. First of all, we have compliance, and both the certificate and the advanced certificate levels are in compliance, although the advanced certificate has three variations. There's normal compliance, business compliance, and compliance in legal firms. And the last one is obviously a specialist qualification for those of you who work in legal firms, whereas the business compliance is a broader qualification that covers all industry, and the certificate in compliance is based on financial services, but is also suitable for associated industries, such as insurances, brokerage, mortgage markets, and even things like betting and gaming as well. So have a look at the syllabus if you're not sure which qualification is right for you. And even if you then still can't make up your mind, do get in contact with us. As far as the advanced certificates in anti-money laundering and the advanced certificate in fraud or financial crime are concerned, again, in financial crime, it focuses particularly in managing fraud, because that is the key financial crime threat in most organisations, particularly from internal fraud and staff. And there are two under the heading of anti-money laundering, one in anti-money laundering itself, and then a more specialist one in practical due diligence, which is very much for those people involved in due diligence and the onboarding of clients. Now, at this level, all of these qualifications are for people who might be relatively new to these roles, or people with experience but wanting a qualification to back up that experience, and they're very much about showing you best practice and how to carry out that role. At diploma level, there is just one qualification for each of the three streams, one in money laundering, one in financial crime prevention, but the compliance diploma changes its name and its breadth of syllabus slightly by becoming the diploma in governance, risk and compliance. And this recognises that at diploma level, there is more focus on management and leadership, which is where the governance comes in, and also particularly in the risk management and the fact that if you do lead a compliance function, then you are managing the firm's regulatory risk. So risk management becomes a core part of the syllabus. And then at the postgraduate level, we combine the financial crime prevention and the anti-money laundering because, you know, when you stop and think about it, anti-money laundering is a subset of financial crime. And the postgraduate diploma in governance, risk and compliance builds on the diploma and, as I say, takes it to that strategic level. So I'm often asked, which qualification should I do? Compliance, AML or financial crime prevention? Well, the best way to look at it really is, of course, it's your choice and it's got to suit your current role or your ambition for your next role. Anti-money laundering is a subset of financial crime. So that particular field tends to have more detail and delve into much more depth in that specific area of anti-money laundering. Financial crime includes anti-money laundering, but clearly not to the same depth as the anti-money laundering qualification, and it expands to cover other financial crimes such as fraud prevention, anti-bribery and corruption, and preventing market abuse. So it's a broader field and a larger syllabus, but still purely focusing on financial crime compliance. And then finally, compliance itself, or governance, risk and compliance in the higher qualifications, is the broadest topic of all, the one that looks more at the regulatory oversight of both financial crime compliance and all of the other compliance requirements that are out there, particularly in terms of market integrity and consumer protection. So you're looking at conduct compliance, market conduct and consumer conduct, and we also look at prudential compliance, the financial side of making sure that firms don't fail and that they don't have a knock-on negative effect for the rest of the market. So the compliance looks at the bigger picture, then financial crime looks at financial crime, and AML looks at that one specific area of financial crime. So in terms of determining which is right for you, it really does come down to your current role, which is most suitable, and where you want to go to next, which is the right qualification to take you there. We do, of course, have many students who take more than one qualification, and it's normally one of the compliance qualifications and then one of the financial crime qualifications, depending upon their particular area of interest or expertise. As far as the levels go, just to recap, the certificate is very much entry and a really good solid foundation knowledge. Advanced certificate is for practitioners who want to improve their skills and back up their experience with a qualification. New entrants can take it, absolutely, but you probably need to be moving into the area of compliance quite soon because it helps to be practicing these skills as you're learning them. Diploma is about managing or wanting to move into managing and leading in the areas of compliance, AML and financial crime. And postgraduate diploma is very much the leadership, 10 years experience plus, very strategic and very much about preparing yourself for the master's degree. So I hope that helps in sort of two main key areas, which I've sort of summarized here on this next screen. And I think if you answer these two key questions, then you will know which qualification is right for you. And once you've made that decision, sleep on it for a day or two, and then if you're still certain you've made the right decision, go ahead and apply. But if you're not 100% sure, that's when to contact us. And either somebody from the administration team can give you the information you need to make the right decision, or if you need to, you can even speak to one of the tutors, such as myself, and we'll talk through with you based on our experience, and again, try and help you make the right decision in terms of which qualification is for you. One thing I should add is that all of the qualifications are offered on an international level, and many of them are offered for UK citizens to be performed face-to-face in the United Kingdom, and some of the international ones can also be studied face-to-face in our regional centres, such as Dubai and Singapore and Moscow, and a few other centres. We do Jersey, Guernsey, and the Isle of Man. We run centres in the Caribbean, and basically wherever actually the large enough group gets together, we can normally make sure that we can run courses face-to-face. The alternative to face-to-face and the workshops is that you do the courses distance learning. And these distance learning workshops, distance learning is supported by virtual classroom workshops, in which myself or one of the other tutors will, at certain points during the course, host online forums with slightly more sophisticated software than we have now that allows interaction via video cameras, polls and questions and discussions. So whilst the distance learning piece doesn't benefit from the classroom experience with other delegates, you still do get that interaction with your tutor and even to a degree some interaction with other delegates. And whichever way you go about the course, you're supported by an online learning platform that contains all of your course materials. It contains a question and answer forum, which is a lively sort of debating area for both students and tutors to get involved, where questions can be posted about assignments and about coursework, and also you're given lots of contact details for administration, for assessments, so there's always somebody there who can answer your questions as you are studying. We also do pre-recorded webinars on hot topics, and so people can actually look at these webinars whenever it suits you. And we also give you further reading suggestions so that you can go ahead and sort of do wider reading. But one of the real benefits also of the course, particularly the international ones, is we allow you to base the assignments on your own jurisdiction, and quite often even on your own organisation. So the learning from the materials and from the workshops or from the virtual classrooms can then be sort of by yourself customized to suit your environment, your jurisdiction. And so as well as demonstrating to ICA that you have the knowledge and skill to pass the course, you're also able to demonstrate to your business that you are actually learning things that are applicable to your firm in your jurisdiction. On that learning platform, as I've mentioned, you've got the materials, the videos, your assignments are posted there, and depending on the course you take, you're assessed in slightly different ways. So at the certificate level, that's the only course where once you've completed the reading, you can take a multiple choice test where you are given us a random selection of 25 multiple choice questions, and you need to get 18 of those right to obtain the certificate. As soon as you move into advanced certificate and then diploma level, you have to undertake assignments, which are written reports or written papers based upon a scenario which we give you. And as I say, quite often you're able to base it on your own jurisdiction and your own firm. And the scenario allows you to show your understanding of the course material in a practical way, so that you can demonstrate you have read the material and you understand it, but also you can apply it to scenarios and you can make recommendations and justify your recommendations. So in this way it becomes very practical because these are key skills of a compliance professional. The advanced certificate requires one assignment to be done, and then there's a 1.5 hour written exam at the end. And the diploma requires 2 assignments to be done with a 3-hour exam at the end. The examinations are like simplified assignment questions, and you have to answer either 2 questions for the advanced certificate or 4 in the diploma. Although in fact the advanced certificate's just changed recently. There's 1 long question and 2 short ones. So we just changed the format of that one. But again, they allow you to demonstrate your knowledge via answering these assignments, and there are case studies in the assignment, so you can also base it on a case study that's in front of you. There's always assistance with revision to help you through the exam, and there's revision webinars as well to make sure that your revision is going well, and we give you lots of hints and tips on how to get the most out of both your assignments and the examination. Whilst we can't obviously help you write your assignments or tell you what the exam questions are, we will do everything we can in terms of support and structuring to help you understand what's required of you and how to go about the assignments and the exam. Within the course materials, you also get self-assessment questions to test yourself as you go along, and there are suggested tasks as well, so that you can potentially undertake some tasks in your own organisation to apply the learning as you go along. The Q&A form is vital in terms of getting answers quickly to questions, and also for students to ask each other questions, because it's an open forum and therefore students can pass the knowledge and information backwards and forwards. And as well as that, there's more information in the student support area where you have things like previous assignment feedback or previous exam questions with examiners' feedback. So again, as you prepare for your assessment, either the assignment or the exam, you can look at past papers, look at the feedback on those papers, and that will again help you understand what it is the ICA are looking for. Okay, so basically I'm done in terms of the key points that I wanted to get across to you. You'd be joining a very well established, now 15-year-old organisation, which has, as I say, over 110,000 delegates who have taken qualifications before. There is a lifetime potential of membership of the ICA, the International Compliance Association, and qualifications that can take you all the way through from entry level up to master's level, as well as qualifications in key disciplines within both financial crime compliance and regulatory compliance. So what I suggest you do now, having watched this webinar, is review the syllabus of the questions that you would very much, the qualifications that you're interested in, and make your decision as to which one's right for you. If you're still not sure, then please contact us, and we will give you the information that will help you make up your mind as to what's right for you. But there's lots more information available to you on the website. Obviously, I don't want to go into huge amounts of detail right now, because really this webinar is just a chance to give you that clear overview. And the two questions you've got to ask yourself is, which stream do I want to work in? Compliance, financial crime prevention, or AML? And which level is the right level for me? And if you're in any doubt, let us know and we'll point you in the right direction. So we've been answering the questions as we've gone along, and I can't see any outstanding at the moment. So if you do have any final questions, you need to type very quickly while I just wind things up. Oh, we have got a couple more questions. So let's just see what we've got on here. I can't see the whole question at the moment, so I'll just get somebody to expand the screen for me, and we'll see what we can do. I still can't quite see all of them. I don't know if we can expand those. One quick question I can answer there. There's no prerequisite qualifications to undertake a specialist qualification. You can do the specialist certificates from any background if you have an interest in the topic. I should say that diploma level, we would normally expect you to have a degree in your background and experience in the area you want to do the diploma in, but it's not compulsory. We do have flexibility. With the advanced certificate and the certificate, anybody can enter at those levels, because we do give you all the support you need to get going from a standing start. We don't currently hold any workshops in Czechoslovakia, unfortunately. Sorry, the Czech Republic, my mistake. We don't hold any workshops in the Czech Republic. However, it really is a case of if enough people get together there, or if there's a compliance officers group or an anti-money laundering group, then it may be possible we do run face-to-face workshops. But there has to be the demand, unfortunately, to sort of cover the cost of sending tutors out. But otherwise, we are, as I say, moving into using virtual classroom technology, and we've been starting to do that this year, and those virtual classrooms are becoming much, much more interactive. So I hope that you'll get a pretty good experience from that. The only other option, of course, is to try and tie it in with a nice holiday somewhere like Jersey, Guernsey, the Isle of Man, or Moscow, where we will be running. And in fact, we just started running courses in Athens as well, so maybe a few days in Athens might appeal to you. Okay, I don't know if someone can expand the pharmaceutical question for me, and I'll have a look at that. And then, and there's another question that I can't quite see the whole of, so I can't answer at the moment. Okay. The exam's being held, if you do the course online, you do the exam online. The examinations are, generally speaking, again, it depends. The certificate is online all the time. The advanced certificate and the diploma examinations, you will be given an exam venue wherever you are in the world, but there is also, because the examinations are actually open book, as long as you have an invigilator who we can trust, we will, you have to put forward who will invigilate for you. Quite often it's done in the workplace. So we basically talk to you individually about how the examination piece will work, but it's a good point to remind you that actually the examinations are open book, which helps, but be careful, because if you have too much information with you, you spend too much time actually reading and not enough time writing, and so you don't actually finish the exam. So open book sounds great, but actually the way in which we tend to try and teach it is prepare as though it's closed book and have a good set of notes with you to help you remember what you need to be writing in the exam room. Okay, let's have a look. What else have we got on here? Anything else I can answer? As I say, unfortunately there's a couple I can't quite see the full question, so they're probably being answered else in other ways. Where you don't have face-to-face training, the whole course can be done distance learning. You get an extra distance learning workbook, as well as the virtual classroom online support. The key thing really is that you get also the support on an ongoing basis, on a day-to-day basis, by using that Q&A forum. So even if you're attending workshops, there can sometimes be up to 2 months between workshops. during that period, there's always somebody either in the administration team or in the academic team who will respond to your questions as required. Okay, what else have we got? There's nothing else on there I can answer just at the moment, mainly because I can't see one of them. But I think we're working our way through them. Another question on online training. Do we have to attend the live broadcast? Good question. All broadcasts are recorded and can be watched at your leisure. Obviously, if you don't attend the live broadcast, you can't interact. But we do realize that some people can't, because we do try and run them at times, given that we're a 24-hour industry, we try and run them at times that might be suitable for most people around the world. But having said that, all the sessions are recorded, uploaded, and you can watch them again at your leisure, including, in fact, this one. Okay. Right, I now can't see any outstanding questions, so I'm going to wind this up now. If you have any further questions, please do contact us. If you go back to the last slide, which we'll put back up on the screen in a moment for you, you have the ICT email address. Okay, and that address there, ict@int-comp.com, is the main inbox, which we have a number of people working on every day. I know they have a target to try and empty it every day. I'm sure they meet it most of the time, so we try and get back to you as quickly as we can. And of course, if you need to speak to somebody, just put that in that email, and somebody, the appropriate person, will then call you back. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for your time. I hope you found the session useful. I really, really hope that you do go ahead and take one of our qualifications. The best thing I can do in terms of a sales pitch is say, speak to somebody who has taken our qualifications, because 99% plus recommend our qualifications once they've been through them. We really do try to make them not only a really good qualification in terms of having the qualification on your CV, but also practical and usable in the workplace. We train you to be a compliance professional. We don't just teach you rules and regulations. So a lot of the skills you use on the course will stay with you for the rest of your career. And also, we hope they're enjoyable, written in a way that's easy to read, and particularly with workshops where you can attend face-to-face, the networking and the workshops themselves are really interesting and really good fun as well. So, thank you very much, and I really do hope to see you in the not-too-distant future, either face-to-face in a workshop or again via our laptops in a virtual classroom. Thanks much for now. Cheerio.